There may be some viewers watching this interview that have heard your name before, seen your name on flyers and album covers, but haven't seen you, quote unquote, in quite some time, relatively speaking. What happened to YBS Skola?
As far as incarceration,
Just overall speaking.
I've been going through. I had got arrested in 2018, in like 2018 of in March 2018, and the last and what we in 22. So that since then, it just been like a roller coaster. Cause when I got arrested, I came home. I was on house arrest all the way up until June of 19, and that was when I went to prison. When I went to prison, I went to prison in June and came back home in March. Then when I came home in March, I spent like another. I was on house arrest again. Got back off house arrest in January, like a few days before Christmas. Matter of fact, like a few days before New Year's, like the 27th or something. And then I really was just like I basically like got a little taste of freedom, man. And I just was like, see, when you're an artist, people like they feel like that's all you are. Like they forget you're a father, they forget you're a brother, and like they be job pressing you for music and this, that, and the case. But I had a lot of weight on my shoulders, and I had like a lot of I had a dark cloud over my head for so long that I just was relaxing a little bit. I was still working, but I was just taking it easy. I wasn't really like aggressive in what you call 'em as I know I can be. So that's why I dropped the album, my last album. I called it My Apologies, cause this was like my first back outside album. My previous album, I was on house arrest. I was doing it in the house, wasn't outside. The atmosphere was a little boring. So I got back out, and I feel like this tape right here, I was coming with some records, and I was coming with some music that like the fans like yeah, this the score we was waiting on. So that's like in so many words, like sorry for the wait.
Have you seen those comments?
Yeah, I be
What
get
happened to Skola? Things of that nature.
yeah, I seen them comments, and I be seeing different comments like because I had people that don't understand the system. I went in 2018, and I fought my charge all the way up until June of 2019. So how many months is that? About 15 or something. So whole time I was fighting my charge, I was on house arrest. I was basically doing time, but I was just home. But they credit me my time. And when you catch 5 years on a non-violent charge where I'm from, you're only gonna technically do 6 to 7 months a year. So just do the math, that's 30 months. So I did 15 months on house arrest. Went to prison, did 9 months, but when I did them 9, I earned like another 5. So that's down there 30. Then not to mention when I came home, I was on house arrest again for another 10 months. So I'm doing like 5 years to the door, but how I'm doing it is just different from a nigga who ain't got no paper. My lawyer job pulling different strings, he job dragging shit out, and he job like, and I what you come from, and that's how I benefited and not having to be gone so long. But people that don't really know the system or not from my city and don't know how our system work, they like, dang, he had 5 years, how he back home? Like, don't even part your lips to say nothing like a nigga went out like no coward, you feel me? But I don't feed into it though, cause the ones that need to know, they know, you feel me?
What city are you referencing here for viewers watching this getting to know you for the first time?
I'm referencing Baltimore, Maryland.
Care to share the name of the prison that you were stationed at when you actually did physical time outside of house arrest?
I was at Dorsey Run in Jessup, Maryland.
What was that like?
It wasn't like nothing. It was a dorm. It was dorms. It wasn't as bad as it could be. It was like a minimum pre-release type of thing. So it really was like, like a boot camp for real.
How did your stage name and your presence in music hold up as a face card under those conditions?
And then,
Yeah.
I know how I carry myself, and I know how I know how I move. It wasn't my first rodeo in dorm, so I, it what you call it came with it. It definitely was challenging, you know, cause you gotta have discipline. You gonna have like times you gotta be a thinker. You feel what I'm saying? Not to go backwards, cause you know it's so easy to go backwards when you in there. It's so easy like to catch a dirty arm from smoking weed or and then like all that shit. I just like had that discipline. Like man, I'm trying to get out this motherfucker fast as possible. So any of the miscellaneous shit getting in the way of that, I ain't on.
But because you have built up a popularity with your music and your stage name, and you were continuing to climb the success ladder in music up until that point, did your name hold weight in the sense of other prisoners treating you better than maybe if you didn't have that name?
Definitely, yeah. Cause everybody know well, guys that's level headed and like and 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 want more in life, they job was disappointed in me. Cause by me being in the room with them, and they know outside like they ain't even never probably had 10,000 of their name. These guys could be 40, 50. These guys that been down 30 years on their last 2 years sitting sleeping next to me like damn like let me see your pictures again, man. I can't believe you know what I mean, you set yourself like you let them trick you out your spot like this, man. You supposed to be in Miami or LA at the BT, like every time something go on from TMZ or something, they like, damn, like they always compare to me, like that supposed to be you, man. You sitting here with us, like. So they job was like, they knew that they understand the territory of where we from, and I didn't do anything wrong. I had a firearm on me. I wasn't doing nothing wrong. I wasn't robbing nobody, nothing. I just was job protecting myself because I done lost a lot of friends to just like spontaneous like incidents that was nothing. That never even should have happened. So I just was at the end of the day, I wasn't doing nothing wrong. I was protecting myself, and guys basically like, man, you supposed to have bodyguard. They just trying to figure out every scenario why, like, to avoid it for the future. Like, man, next time you go home, get you a bodyguard, get you somebody without no record, get them a gun, let them carry it, man. You too important, man. Like, you supposed to be out there. You the one that you the breadwinner. Like, so.
Now, what was your response to that?
I just was like,
that is a fair question.
That's like they got a point. They got a point for real. Cause I shouldn't be sleeping next to nobody who was robbing somebody for $100 when I spent $100 on chewing gum. You feel me? Or I spent $100 on backwoods or some shit. Like I shouldn't be sleeping next to these type of people. You feel me? It's just like.
Why no bodyguard back in those days? If you could afford it, why no?
I did have bodyguard. I had bodyguard for concerts, for fans, for people who just like, I ain't want none of my friends going about it wrong. Just people that just might be overhyped and just like over aggressive when they just really love. So I did have bodyguards when I did shows, but when I'm moving regularly in the streets, I ain't got no bodyguards. Like in my city, I ain't got no bodyguards. You feel what I'm saying? I got bodyguards for like fans, girls, really like just to tame them. Like if that's what my ideal be for the body, for the ones anyway with the size on them type of thing, type bodyguards. Like just don't let nobody run up on me or nothing. You feel me?
And the other part of that question, why not let somebody that is lawfully able to carry a firearm next to you have a firearm instead of you actually holding one if you weren't allowed to at that time in your life?
I don't know, man. Bad decision making. Learning lesson. Bad decision making, learning lesson.
And what was, because there are different gun laws for different cities, states, things of that nature.
Our gun law is horrible. We don't got no win. You can have a gun on you. You can have an incident like Lord Dirt. You over with. You can be in your house. I shoot somebody in my house. I'm over with. You will never probably see me again, man. It's the end of me. Even people with gun credentials in my city, it's still tough on them if they shoot somebody. Like it ain't like it ain't nowhere near compared to Atlanta or like down south gun laws or that shit totally different. First and foremost, it's so hard to get it. It's so hard to get it. And that was my first charge. I ain't even had no record. I had got locked up a lot of times previously, but that was my first conviction. You feel what I'm saying? And it went like that.
When you say you had other charges or however you just phrased it, was that as an adult or as a juvenile?
As an adult, I got locked up a few times, but I got them expunged. I beat them in trial, and it wasn't on my record no more. This was like the only thing on my record. First charge, copped out to plead guilty to 5 years.
So just for transparency, were you able to get gun credentials? Were you trying to get gun credentials?
I was gonna move down here and get this shit, and right in my tracks, got locked up for a gun. I was probably in the process no longer than 2 weeks to come down here and get a spot, but I can't really say like that would have what you come, cause I'm still not really so, for the most part, upset that I did get arrested, cause it's like I look at everything as a learning lesson. I ain't really like it was a loss. I just like it was a lesson. You dig what I'm saying? Because even if I was the head that got the spot down here, who to say I would have, when I flew back home, would have been still moving wrong anyway. But I was in the process of getting a spot down here in 2018. Got set way back for real.
And when you say here, what are you referencing?
Atlanta, Georgia.
And you mentioned you had some leeway because of your name and popularity in music and things of that nature. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, could it have been the reverse of that too? Maybe people trying to try you or challenge you because you do have a name and want to see how that name holds up.
Yeah, it's all on the person because it's different strokes with different folks. You feel what I'm saying? You got some rappers that go through that and they get it the hard way because dudes be trying them. Like, I ain't had that. I ain't get tried not once. I ain't get nothing took from me. I ain't even had nobody attempt to. I ain't had that. That wasn't my case. But you got a lot of rappers, though, or public figures, not even just rappers, that go through and get tried and they don't hold up that first time and they rodeo be a bumpy one. You feel what I'm saying? Like, when they don't do well that first time, they defense or whatever the case may be, they don't hold up good, and then that shit be spreading through jail to jail. I'm talking about like a wildfire. And then niggas be up your ass everywhere you go. Niggas be taking something from you or nigga be horning you. So that wasn't my case though. I ain't had to do nothing like, you feel what I'm saying? I ain't on no big and bad shit, and I ain't like moving around like on some make a nigga feel less of a man because I'm fortunate and I'm in here and like, no, like I've been in everybody in here's shoes before. I come from it. I'm still in it. I still got family in it. So it was times like it's a lot of dudes prey on a week. I don't, for real. I don't even like it, for real. It might be a dude getting bullied. I'll be like, yo, what's wrong? Like, no, he owe me $5 right here. With your $5 right here. Leave him alone, bro. You feel me? You know he ain't got it. You just trying to bully, prey on a week to get some brownie points for attention and look like you something you're not to the audience. Like, that ain't my case.
So no physical altercations while you were locked up?
No.
And when it comes to My Apologies, was that a title that you created or someone coined for you?
Me.
And was that project considered an album, mixtape, or EP, technically speaking?
Like a mixtape.
Why go that route for that particular project?
Like, I always wanted to drop on my birthday, right? And my birthday was getting close, and I ain't want to rush it and force it. But the person who upload my music to the distro, we was probably like a week away, and I had a project like 80% finished. And I just was like, you know what? That 80%, I'm like, what we got? See if I could drop it on my birthday. You feel what I'm saying? Like, see if it'll drop June 30th. And he like, bro, it say we can use the date. I'm like, let's do it. I just always wanted to drop my birthday. I always wanted to be to my fans. I always wanted to be on my birthday. My gift to y'all is a head project, and I just finally got. I had enough time to do it, so I just did it. Like I knew the song. I knew the body of work was a lot of nice songs though. I sat and listened to them for a while, probably weeks, like, and I sat with it and did a couple listening sessions for a while. But I'm hands-on with all my stuff. I don't have no label, like do my track listing, none of that. I do all that. I do the whole 9 yards, honestly.
Some have a DJ host their mixtape. In
I
this
don't-
particular case, you didn't.
Yeah, I never had a DJ host mine yet. I want to in the future though. I like to get DJ drama.
Do you have a current relationship with him at all?
No, but I DM'd him and he hit me back.
So a line of communication is open between you two.
Possibly.
And that was a DM through Instagram?
Yeah.
For viewers watching, again, for the first time getting to know you, care to share your Instagram screen name?
YBS Skola. YBS_Skola.
Final question here in regards to no apologies, or my apologies, excuse me. Are there any unknown facts or stories in regards to this project?
Oh, another thing, my apologies, like,
Go ahead.
I had lost a friend that was real special, real important friend to me, meant a lot to me, yo. And it what you call him too. It's like, cause he always like drop music, and it's like he passed. It's like if it was anything I could look up and tell him like, damn, my apologies, like even to him, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, cause he always like, man, you gotta drop music. Like, you be having all that hard ass shit and you don't drop it. Like, people don't think you have it in the vault. So that's why I was like, you know what? I ain't want to overthink it and I ain't want to put too much stress into it. It's like, man, I took my time out, listened to this shit. I made this shit, like, and I ain't make this shit on no lousy shit. I made this shit, like, from the heart. So this what it is. Like, they gonna like it or they not. It's me. It's like my apologies, and that's just how it went for real.
Care to share who this person you're referencing is?
His name was Ali.
How did you two first meet? Do you remember
We got
that?
some family ties. And I know him since I was a kid. Like, we got family ties. Like, my uncle was his best friend when they was kids. My mother was his sister. They was good friends when they was growing up. I always was at their house. His nephews and them was at my house. His nephew just spent time. It go way back. It go way back since, like, I can't even remember.
What was he really like?
He was a great person, man. He believed in me. He was behind me 100% for real.
Did he play? Go ahead.
He loved YBS. YBS meant so much to him for real. It meant so much to him for real. YBS got like some history. It go all the way back too, like, and he was like, well, I was too. He was a part of it, YBS, when it was like YBS / Hood Movement. Well, it was Hood Movement / YBS. Hood Movement was Carmelo Anthony. They was like, but the guy that I'm talking about, they was from like the same area. They grew up in the same area. Carmelo and them they had Hood Movement, and I feel like my man Ali, he the one like YBS. He put it like he collabed with YBS. Young Ball is Shining. Hood Movement was holding our own destiny. That's what that stand for. And by us already having family ties, it was shirts and shit. I bring them up my neighborhood, Emerson Village, and I get my friends on it. We was already wearing like YBS, and it wasn't even no music. It rebranded like as we was adults for music when like 20. I can't even remember the exact year, but it was Schooled Up Next when we revamped it. And we was all in the room like, man, you know what? We bringing YBS back like that. And that's how the music came about.
So the question was going to be asked, did he play a specific position or role with your career?
He was, yeah, definitely.
Did he have a title, for example, by any chance? You know, like road manager or
No. He ain't had he ain't had really no specific title like on paper. He wasn't a road manager. He wasn't a hype man. He wasn't a DJ. Nah.
um, do you have a favorite memory of him you'd like to share with
I
viewers?
got so many memories of that nigga, man. It's too many. One favorite memory I shared with my man. One time's a real funny memory, man. We was in we was here, matter of fact, too. We was here. And this one we was first coming down Atlanta. We was first coming to Atlanta, Georgia, man. We had got a room. And sometimes when we get cut of hotels or go out of town, we probably just get one room or two rooms, just throw the bags in. Somebody might just wash up, whatever. But we'll probably come back late on that night if we need more rooms or whatever. Like if niggas like somebody want to get their own room or something and then get more rooms type shit. But we don't never like. I mean, back then we did never just straight come to the hotel and just all get rooms. We'd probably get two rooms. We about 6, 7 deep. Like, man, look, throw them bag, we out. But one time, me and him had got a room, and this nigga had got a couple room. His nigga had got a relationship room, man, and the fucking shower was see-through, yo. So when I look, I'm like, man, what the fuck? You washing up in some see-through shit. And he like, man, what? What the fuck you talking about, nigga? You can see me. So then I was like, he cut himself. And that's one of the funny memory I always be telling niggas, like, and I be thinking about that nigga like something I be bringing up. That nigga was hilarious, though. That nigga was hilarious.
In regards to My Apologies, the project, once again, are there any unknown facts or stories in regards to it that's never been publicly mentioned before? So, whether it's in regards to the creation of it, or the recording of it, or the release of it. Any unknown facts or stories in regards to it?
Fact is, I did it at my own studio. Recorded at my own studio. Everything in house on there, from the beats, everything like in house, really for real. Like Jesse, MCM, Elijah, like Midas. Majority of the producers I use is like in house. It's locals that's fire for real. Shout out to all the producers. And I did it I did it at home for real. I did it at my studio. It ain't a bunch of songs on that recorded here, there, just all under one roof for real.
Was this in Maryland? Was this
Yeah,
in Georgia?
yeah. This was in Maryland, Studio 17. That's where I recorded it at.
Is that a studio that's open to the public by any chance?
Mm-hmm. That's a studio that's open to the public.